Alright, everybody. So it's Thursday, so it's time for another Marvel Netflix review. This week we'll be reviewing Iron Fist Season 2. This season was so much better than the first season, and I'm not even a hater of the first season. Like a lot of people do, but I found it enjoyable. Way more action, you get way more of the fist itself. I still think the cast did a good job. All of the returning cast, we get some new cast members as well. This season starts out and Danny, he's fighting crime still because he's taken up for Matt Murdock, who he thinks is dead. He's just doing his own thing. And then Colleen is retired because of what happened to Misty's arm in Defenders, because I think she was protecting her or something. So she thinks that people get hurt when she's in the field, so she's like retired. And they've turned the dojo into their house. So Colleen just does like volunteer work now. Danny's still rich, but he works for like a moving company because he tries to stay low, and he kind of lets Ward run Rand. So that's what Ward does this season. And Ward's also like in therapy, trying to, deal with everything that happened to him in the first season. And Joy, she's starting her own business. She leaves Rand, and she's definitely still mad at Danny and Ward. And she's actually teamed up with Davos to, take Danny down because they're both mad at him. So those two are working together. Not good. And then we also get introduced to a new character. Her name is Mary or Walker. She has split personalities. It's very intense in some parts. It's like there's a big mystery around it. And she's a really cool character, really fun. Enjoy getting to know her. They tease that she has like a third personality there towards the end. Halfway throughout the season, Mary or Walker takes out Danny, takes him to Davos, and Davos performs like the ceremony thing on Danny, and it removes the Iron Fist from Danny and transfers it into Davos. So Danny is like sidelined hard. So Danny doesn't even know who he is anymore without the fist. And Davos is out there like murdering people and stuff and calling himself the Iron Fist. So that's not good either. But it is really cool because his fist is like red and he gets the cool like serpent tattoo. Really fun, but it's also like aggravating. So then Misty Knight shows up from Luke Cage, and she actually becomes like a series regular. Once she shows up, she's like in it from then on, which is really cool. She's like an addition to the cast. And her and Colleen always have great scenes together. I definitely think they were setting up a show for her and Colleen. In the comics, there's something about the dragon, the Daughters of the Dragon maybe or something. That was definitely being set up. Somewhere in the mix, Danny confronts Davos. Davos takes the fist straight to Danny's knee, shatters his knee. So now Danny's not only fistless, he's in rehab. So like, he just keeps getting sidelined harder and harder and harder. So now it's up to Colleen and Misty to go out and like investigate and do all these things. And then finally, Joy realizes that this Davos guy is crazy. So she comes to her senses and is like, I'm gonna go get the stuff they used for the ceremony, and we're gonna give Danny his fist back. So she's like infiltrating Davos's little underground lair thing. He finds out, throws her off the balcony. I got scared. Gets thrown off the balcony, head first. You're seeing blood everywhere. I'm like, no, they just killed her. It's like, oh man. But she's actually not dead. She's okay. I don't even think she has brain damage. So she got out pretty well for what happened to her. Ward finds out that he got his therapy sponsor pregnant, but she doesn't want him to be anywhere around the baby because he has problems he hasn't fixed. So now Ward's got all this emotion going on, and you really learn to like Ward in this season. I appreciate that he was likable this season. So now Colleen is like training Danny during his rehab, trying to get him back up to, where he can fight. And she does a pretty good job of it because somewhere throughout all that rehab, his leg gets fixed. I think they like put like a metal knee in it or something. And Danny decides that when they decide to do the ceremony, they need to do it to Colleen. Colleen needs the fist, not him, because he thinks that she'd be better with it. And she kind of denies it, but then she decides, okay, I'll take it. They get Davos, they're performing the ceremony, and like Colleen's starting to glow, Davos is glowing, and something happens, and Danny has to interrupt it. So now, both of them are in pain because the ceremony wasn't finished, but they both have fists, and Colleen's fist was white. Oh, it was so cool. She also has like a sleeve tattoo instead of like on the chest or on the back. Really cool looking. So the final battle ends up being more like Colleen and Davos, and she ends up finishing the ceremony, kicking his butt. Danny and Colleen, they like kind of break up, and Danny also decides that he's gonna go back to China, I believe. And he's like going around, he's going trying to find himself, and he brings Ward with him, leaves Colleen to defend the city. You even get like an epilogue where she's the Iron Fist, and she can even like channel her Iron Fist powers into her katana, and it looks so cool. But on the other side, we get to see like Danny and Ward where they went, and they're like in some bar asking about something. Danny pulls out 2 pistols. It's like he uses guns now, but then they start glowing with his fists. So he somehow got the Iron Fist powers back and learned to channel his powers through the guns, and he can like control where the bullets go. Very, very fascinating. I was so mad that there's not a season 3 when that happened. I feel like season 3 had potential to be super crazy. I mean, with Colleen having the powers and the sword, and then with the guns. Oh, it would have been so epic. I pray the MCU brings these people back. Don't just reboot them. Find a way, please. There were some Easter eggs. We get a flashback scene where Danny and Davos are wearing the Iron Fist mask, and it looks awesome. I was so hoping they did the mask. They did it. And we also, like, Mary, we find out that part of her backstory is that she was in the war in Sokovia, which is really cool. So that's just some more tie-in. That is my review. I have a review for season 1 and all the other Marvel Netflix stuff leading up to this. I'm watching Jessica Jones season 3 right now, so my journey's almost over. Hit the like button, subscribe, comment what you thought about Iron Fist season 2, or if I missed something, comment, let me know. I'll get back to you, and I'll see y'all next time.